In order to start the machine properly, whenever you either have a jam or when you first start the machine, you have to first make sure the e-stop has been pulled all the way and press the reset button until it turns off, and press the start button, which is the green button, 2 times. 1 and 2. If you desire to stop the machine, simply press the stop button, and to restart it, you only have to press the green button 1 time. To change programs, click on the magnifying glass, pick the program of your choice, and confirm that you're in the right program for the product you're about to feed. This number right here gives you your average speed in number of pieces per hour, counting the last 7 pieces. The number right here is telling you how many pieces you currently have on the stack. In order to advance the stack, you have to make sure that the machine is running, and then you can press either the 1 arrow to advance the stack 1 time, or the double arrow to advance it 2 times. The single arrow below the stack number will advance it 1 time as well. If you want to know your production levels, you can click on the chart at the top. This will give you your count for the program you're in. So in this case, we have no items processed for the bath towels program. You also have a day counter. The day counter will give you the count for all the programs combined since it was last reset. In order to reset just one of those numbers, you can click on the eraser, and to reset all the day counters, then you click on the eraser in that box. In order to see all the programs, you can click on the pie chart again, and that will show you the count for all the items in all of the programs 1 through 15. To switch to the next screen, you can simply use the arrow at the top to navigate from one screen to the next. If you want to reset the count on all of these programs in this specific screen, simply click on the eraser for that screen. To come back to the home menu, click on the X at the top right corner. While pressing the jog button, the primary belt and the belt above the stack of doors will activate. This will enable you to remove any piece that is currently in the machine. It is good practice to press the button for at least 4 seconds and make sure that you're actually pressing the button by looking visually if the belts are advancing. Now let's feed the items through the machine. Number 1, we're going to go to the bath towels. Bath towels have to be fed open, small side up, and centered. This is your center. So simply feed them directly on the in-feed conveyor as centered as you possibly can. Gowns. We have 2 types of gowns, regular gowns and XXL or 10XL gowns. The regular gown, flip it so that the shoulders are at the bottom. Then make a manual fold in half, and then feed it through the machine with the open side on the left or on the right. But try, if you can, to prevent having the strings interfering with the center of the machine, as this may cause a bad fold. Again, in the center. We also have the gown 10XL. Those gowns are much wider, but once again, we will take the bottom of the gown, fold it in half once, and then fold it in half a second time before we feed it centered to the machine. You'll notice that there's a lot of strings in some of those gowns. It's always best if you try to prevent those strings from being in the center of the machine. Scrubs. In the scrub program, we can feed both the tops and the pants. For the tops, make sure that the collar is at the bottom facing the machine and feed them in the center. For the pants, this may actually vary. Please check with your supervisor. But you can feed them with either the pants cuffs at the top or at the bottom. Just make sure that the strings of the pants do not interfere with the center of the machine. So have them side a little bit on the side. And it's easier if you take the flat side of the pants versus this side and align it with one of the belts so that all the pants will fall consistently on the stack and make a much nicer stack. Note that you can also feed the pants with the waist up if this is how your supervisor wants it to be done. Knitted fitted. Same thing as the gurneys. There are two ways of feeding them. You can either put your hands inside, make sure that you don't have any watches or anything like that that you grab onto the item, and then you can simply put them in the center. Or if you find a corner, grab the corners and then feed them in the center. To reject an item, when you feed it, whether it is because it is damaged or you have a stain, what you need to do is it is incorrect to pull the item like this because the machine will think that the item is inside, and it will eventually stop if you put another piece in the machine, as you can see here. If you ever put a piece in and remove it, then press the stop button and then press start again. Then the machine is reset and ready to get in a new piece. The proper way to actually reject is you let the piece go, press the button on the right one time, and you will see that the piece will go through the fold and get rejected at the front. Do not pick the item while the machine is running. Always press the stop button first, then you can pick up the item safely and start the machine again. Whenever there is a jam in the crossfold, follow these 4 steps to ensure minimum downtime and an easy way to ensure that everything is proper prior to start the unit again. Of course, you have to open the door, which will stop the machine and prevent it from operating while you're working in the back of it. Then, step number 1, remove the piece that is jammed. In this case, I can see that I have a gown in the first crossfold. When you pull a piece, always pull it in the direction that it moves. So always go straight, never pull them sideways. And also, all the rollers are able to freely turn, so sometimes it is much easier to turn the roller with your hands until you get an easy grab of the item, rather than pull it from the top. In this case, I'm going to pull it from the bottom because it is much easier. If you have any kind of tension as you're trying to pull the item, stop and try to find out where the item is caught so that you can untangle it easily before you start pulling. Step number 2, make sure that there are no other items in the crossfold section. The piece you just removed may not be the piece that was jammed in the first place. Even though I just found a piece in the first crossfold, it could be that this is the second piece and that the first piece was really stuck in the second crossfold. So I always check 3 locations. The first crossfold, between the belts to make sure that nothing is wrapped around one of the rollers, and underneath the second crossfold by looking all the way through towards the stacker flaps and make sure that nothing is there. Step number 3, make sure that the 4 sets of belts are in their proper location. This set right here, this set right here, this set right here can easily be checked by looking at the spacing between the belts. But there's one more set that you have to look at called the intermediate belt, which can only be seen by looking behind this roller. If you have any belt out of position, most of the time you can put it back in position by rotating the belt until it gets back to its correct location. Or you may have to actually move it into place before you turn them again into their correct location. Step number 4, after you close the door, once you're back at the front of the machine, press the reset button if it is blue to turn it off, and press the jog button right here. Make sure you're pressing it and that the belts are turning in your primary fold right here. If they're not turning, you might be pressing next to it. So again, while you press, make sure that the belts are turning. Hold it for 4 seconds or 4 Mississippis. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Then you can release it. At that time, you can press the start button 1 time and then a 2nd time to start. When an item is stuck on the primary deck, never come to the side of the machine to remove the item. As easy as it may seem, this can actually bend the skis outward or inward. An outward pull would cause all the items after this one to be too wide in the primary. An inward pull would cause the ski to interfere with the sensor at the end of the primary deck, which will cause errors and stop the machine unnecessarily. Instead, always use the jog button as shown previously. Press the jog button for 4 seconds until the piece comes out of the machine. After you press the jog button, come to the back of the machine to remove the item that just fell onto the takeaway conveyor.